Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Sonny Grosso. What's up, Sonny?
I'm back.
How you doing, man?
All right, brother. How are you?
I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. We're doing a live one. Shout out to everyone
For a
watching.
live one, exactly.
Yeah, we're live tonight.
I have no pants on, but you can't see shit.
Me either, bro. The Bronx, what's up, man? Mikey Greggs, how are you?
I love that beginning.
Thank you. A lot of people hit me up and said they love the intro, and they said it really looks professional.
Well, it is professional.
I put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
You know, trying to step my
game
up.
Assassin's Creed. You ever heard of it?
I've heard of it, but I don't play games, so.
Oh my God.
I don't play video games.
Not only is it the only one I play, it's the only one I can play. But I've been through the whole thing. They've had like 7 series over the years.
Yeah, the actor passed away, the one that played the guy.
In the movie.
Yeah, he passed away a couple of days ago, matter of fact.
Yeah, just a few days ago, exactly.
Yeah.
So you sit down and start playing that thing, and next thing you know, 4 hours have gone by. Like, boom. Yeah, I'm out there with my swords and fucking killing people every 30 seconds and saving the world and shit. So now I watch your beginning here.
Yeah.
That building that you come walking out from in front of.
Yeah.
Looks like all the buildings that are in this video game in Assassin's Creed. It's funny as hell.
It's like a castle, kind of. It's that's
a
church.
I wasted my day.
My aunt got married at the church.
I spent an hour trying to get the Dolphins game, and it's on Peacock, and it kept saying, well, you have to subscribe. And all right, I'm already a subscriber. And I gave up after an hour. So I just looked up real quick before you came on, or I came on you. Wait, that didn't sound right. Before we start.
No, man, no. Bobo Camp, how you doing? Thanks for joining me, Bobo Camp. Appreciate you. Today, you have a long history in the movie business and film business. People might not be aware of.
Well, let's see. I think it was 71 or 70. I forget which year it was. My father was doing like technical advising for The Godfather. And he got everybody just about that was still alive in the family to be in it. Mostly everybody was in the wedding scene. My cousin Robert and I were altar boys at the end where everybody was getting whacked and shit. Yeah. And, so that was a lot of fun. But while they were filming the wedding scene over in Staten Island, we were on cover set. And for those out there that don't know what cover set is, if you're filming here and it's outdoors, if the weather's no good, you go to an inside cover set. And that was in Little at the old St. Patrick's Cathedral, of which I've won quite a few dollars over the years because everybody, the know-it-alls, the wannabes, like to say, saying, no. It was filmed in Staten Island. Well, I think I should know where I was, but it wasn't. The outside was filmed in Staten Island because of that big, beautiful church, But the inside was filmed at the old St. Patrick's Cathedral.
So they make it look different. Like they make it look like it's at a certain spot.
Right.
It's really over there. Yeah.
Right. But it's a small church, the one in Staten Island. But they built this gigantic facade in the front of it, and it was just beautiful, and they wanted to film there. So while they're doing the wedding scene at the mansion in Staten Island, which was a real place, we had nothing to do, my cousin and I. So, we would just hang out. We had to stay out of the way of the cameras. And there you go. Right behind them there, there's a whole bunch of trees. And so when they would start filming and the music would start playing in the band, my cousin and I, we climbed up the tree behind us. We watched what was going on. And as Coppola's getting ready to do a shot, he always did this, instead of actually looking through the camera. So we would get it in his mind's eye, as he used to say. And he's just looking around and he'd say, okay, let's go. And so at one point he's like this and he's out scoping the whole place and he's going like this and he looks up and he goes like this, like it was a real fucking camera in his hand. He goes, what the? Get those fucking kids out of the trees. Oh man, we got away.
That's funny, man.
Oh, it's hysterical. But
Yeah,
everybody was when Johnny Fontaine comes walking in, and the girls are screaming. One of them is my sister Donna, and she almost didn't get to go because she had broke her ankle maybe 2 weeks before we were supposed to go. So my father calls up Coppola and says, "Listen, I'm not going to be able to bring my daughter. Her legs in a cast." He goes, "That's perfect. Bring her. That adds more realism to the scene and everything, you know."
Oh, so he had her in even with a cast on her leg?
He had her in. He thought it made it look more authentic that way. You know,
that's awesome, man.
It could certainly have been a wedding, anybody's wedding where somebody was in a cast, or So it was a lot of fun. So one day it was very iffy out with the weather. It was on and off drizzling, and so we had to report to the old St. Patty's Cathedral because it didn't look like they were going to get the day in. So we didn't mind because we would have to get up at 6. Now we didn't have to get up till 7. But so we go in and park the car, and we walk in. There is nobody in the church. There's not a priest. There's not an old lady in the corner counting up the money from last night, whatever. So he sits down, and I start doing my exploration, and I'm walking around, and I find these steps, and I go down the steps like this, and I'm in a basement somewhere. I'm like, what the hell? I'm starting to get a little nervous, And I look in his room, and I flick the light on, and there's a pool table there, and a TV, and a table, and this and that. So I go and get my cousin, and we go down. We start playing pool. We're going to kill the time, and they were going to call over once the second unit, showed up, whatever. So we're playing pool, we're having fun, and we were always pretty good. Remember, we were talking about pool the other day, and we were pretty much 50-50 with each other. He'd win most of the time, I'd win most of the time, blah blah blah. So now we're down there, and all of a sudden we hear a door open and close, and get a little, what the hell was that? Whatever, keep playing the pool, and then we hear somebody coming down the stairs. Now I'm saying, oh shit, maybe we're not supposed to be down here, who the hell knows? And in comes walking in Gianni Russo. He played Carlo,
Yeah, shout out to Gianni Russo.
So he goes, you don't know who we are because it's the first time we've seen each other. So he goes, yeah, excuse me, hi guys, maybe you can help me. I'm Gianni Russo. I'm here with the movie, and I go, yeah, so are we. He goes, what? I said, we're the altar boys. Oh, okay, yeah, it's my baby that they're kidnapping, that they're christening, and okay. I said, so we're just supposed to wait here until they call and they start to show up, and then we can get ready. He goes, oh, okay. So he sits down. There's no cell phones back then. There's nothing to do. And he goes, mind if I play the winner? I said, no. So I turn it on. I beat my cousin. And I said, all right, it's our turn now. He goes, all right, you guys playing for anything? I said, no, we're playing for like $1 a game, whatever. He goes, how about 5? Yeah, okay. And he takes out a $500 bill that I have never seen before and I've never seen since. And he puts it on the table. I was like, holy shit, is that real? And I go to pick it up to look at it, and he fucking bangs me over the head with the pool stick. It hurt.
What?
As I'm remembering, it's starting to hurt again now. You kidding? So I go, what the fuck was that all about? He goes, you better learn a lesson. You never touch somebody's money unless you have that same thing in your pocket. Like, wow. I thought you were talking about $5. He goes, I don't play for $5. I hated him. Right from that moment on, I fucking hated the guy. Cocky fuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
And I come to find out he was working as a bricklayer in his family, his father and his uncle's business, and making top dollar and putting everything in the bank. He didn't want for anything, no matter what stories he tells when he's out there. You know how you like to, get some people out, and like you're doing your show, expose some of the bullshit. Well, I'm going to expose some of the bullshit here. So everything went in. So by the time he was 19 years old, he was already a self-made millionaire because mom and dad took care of everything, and all his pay went into the bank, whatever. So
no, so he didn't have to spend his own money.
He never had to spend his own money. No. So to hit somebody you just fucking met in a church over the head with a pool stick.
You're a kid, right? How old were you at the time?
I think I was 17. Come on.
You're a kid.
Kidding me or what? Yeah, I know. So I beat him. And I go, give me my $5. And he goes, oh, I don't have it. Do you have change for 500? I laughs when he walks out. I'm like, what a fucking prick. So fast forward like 15 years later, we're at an event somewhere. I forget, somewhere in on the island. It was like a feast that they have every year at this church. And he was invited as a special guest, which I didn't know. So me and the boys were all hanging out at our table, you know. And somebody goes, isn't that Carlo from The Godfather, Gianni Russo? And I look and I go, oh, yeah, it is. So I send this guy over, go and tell him somebody wants to meet him if he could come over to the table and say hello. He goes over and he comes back alone. I go, what happened? He goes, he said, if they want to talk to me, they can come to my table. I said, really? I said, tell him, go back and tell him, I strongly suggest you come to this table. You know, and not because of me, but because of who I was sitting with. So he kind of looked over and then he came over and, you know, said hello to the people that he knew. And I said, I'm the one that wanted to see you. So he's looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy? And so I remind him of the story. And he goes, nah, I don't remember that. I said, we played pool in the basement. You took out a $500 bill. And he goes, you know, that's something I used to do as a joke every year. I said, yeah. And did you crack people over the fucking head with the pool stick? He turned white as a ghost and he fucking walked away, said goodbye to the people he was with, and he went out and he left the place. That was my revenge. It took 15 years, but I undressed him. So,
yeah, hey. So let me ask you a question about Gianni Russo, because he has some claims about when he was on the Godfather set. And I think I might have found a picture of you in the movie.
Mm-hmm. No, this is the one that was shot in Italy. This was in Godfather 2.
But that
look, the two little girls, see the two little girls in the front?
Yep.
Those are my cousins. That's Patty and Gina. Gina's the one with the flowers on her hair. And if you go all the way to the left, there's a little girl there with a white bow in her hair. Looks like she's clapping her hands.
Yeah.
That's my cousin Chrissy. The guy with the white, I guess, gray suit on with the sunglasses is my Uncle George. I'm trying to see if anybody else is in there. And that's the famous tree I was telling you about that we were up when we got caught. When I got back to high school, everybody was calling me the superstar. The big Hollywood man is here. And it was great. I was allowed to take off from school and everything else.
So there's a story that Gianni Russo told this guy, Marlon Brando. I think it was Marlon Brando or the other guy who was shooting the film, that you're not cutting me out of this. If you cut me out of this, I'll eat your heart out or something like that. Was he acting like that when he was on the set? Do you remember?
Yeah,
was he acting like a big shot?
Some of them, he was an only child, as far as I knew at the time. But yeah, he was like that. He thought who the fuck he was. But as the years have gone on up to where he is today, like the people that you highlight on your show for entertainment purposes only, his stories have gotten bigger and more outrageous. So, you know, I just know what it was and what he's done and how much that he had to pick. And I hid this and he got this one into the thing. And I told him to do this and I told him to change this around. And none of that's true, you know?
It sounds unbelievable. Pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
He was involved with an altercation at a bar where he killed someone. Did you hear about that?
Yes. Yeah. That's true. But
yeah, you know, 100%, right?
He certainly wasn't a tough guy, or he didn't act, but he liked to talk like one and act like one, you know. And
I'm sure this bolstered his reputation after this little incident at the bar happened with this crazy guy, right? Crazy guy came out trying to stab people or something. He ended up shooting them.
Yeah. Well, did he shoot him?
Yeah.
Oh, out in Vegas.
Yeah. Cleared in shooting death. In Las Vegas, the district attorney's office cleared a restaurant owner, Gianni Russo, Tuesday in the shooting death of a man at his restaurant. Deputy Chief District Attorney Bill Coote said Sunday the shooting was justifiable homicide on the part of the restaurant owner. The dead man was identified Tuesday as Lorenzo Morales, 30, of Cuba. Police said that they were unsure whether Morales lived in Las Vegas or if he had a criminal record. The shooting occurred after the victim allegedly slashed the owner, Gianni Russo, and a Patreon with a broken beer bottle. Russo, the owner of the State Street Lounge, was sitting in a booth with friends at about 3 a.m. Sunday when a man came up behind him, grabbed him around the throat. Witnesses told police. Gianni reportedly pushed the man to the floor, but then he grabbed a woman identified as I think it says Louis Manners, 47.
Lois Manners.
Yeah, cut her over the eye with the bottle. And then Russo intervened. The man attacked him again, cutting Russo on the side of the hand. At that point, Russo drew his gun from his pocket and shot the man. It killed him.
There you go.
So that added, I'm sure it added to his story. And he doesn't have to go crazy with the story.
Well, I gave him some, what do they call that? Bravado to walk around with now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not sure
exactly. The guy in The Godfather? I lived The Godfather. I had to shoot a guy in Vegas. Well, there you go.
Yeah, right.
He told everybody he banged Marilyn Monroe when he did. It's not true.
Yeah, whatever. I don't believe that.
Whatever. All I know is I had fun, and we had fun doing that. And the scene outside the hospital. You know the movie pretty well, I would assume, right?
Yeah, fairly well. So I need to watch it again. It's been a minute.
When Pacino's part, when Michael goes to see his father, and all the police officers that were supposed to be there making sure he was safe, nobody was there, you know. So he takes the baker, the guy who was a baker, and they're waiting outside, and they scare off the guys that were coming to kill Don Vito. And so now the cops show up, and he gets into a beef with Pacino, and he says, "That's it, lock him up." And a guy comes up and goes, "Hey, come on, Captain, leave him alone. He's not part of them. He's a war hero." That was my father in that scene too. So everybody in the movie was part of that. You know,
that's crazy. Your whole family was in The Godfather.
So just the last part of the things that can only happen to me. That should be my new podcast. We're lined up, and you know, you got Diane Keaton and Al Pacino with the baby, and then family behind it, and the one that played the big lady that played the mother of the boys, and everybody's all set up. And so now you got to shoot from this scene, then you got to break it down and shoot from this side and get this close. I mean, it's such a pain in the ass business to be in.
Tedious,
very tedious. So everybody has to remember the marks that they're at. I chose a spot. And I went up and I looked around first. I said, "I'm going to stand here." Yeah, there. And because I could see off their monitor that they were using where the camera was looking. So I was going to be on this scene almost for the whole entire scene. So now we break and we go back, and I'm in my same spot. And then we break again, and now we go back. And as I go back, my cousin Robert is standing in my spot. So we get into a little back and forth, you know. I mean, it almost came to blows. I'm like, "What are you doing? That's my fucking spot. This is my spot now." And now we start getting yelled at. "Everybody in position. Let's go. Come on. Altar boys, what are you doing over there?" So I had to go and stand in the spot that he was in. And then I found out why he wanted my spot. You can't see him at all. When you see that scene, all you see, and I have to fast forward that scene because to this day, that was in 71. So do the math there. What is that, 53 years ago?
Yeah.
Right? I still get knots in my stomach. I want to put my hand through a wall because there's his face. And the next time when you're watching it, remember what I'm telling you. Watch his face, because all you see is him holding back his laughter, going like this, because you can't see it from the camera. But I'm kicking him in his leg, in his ankle, in his ass. I'm cursing at without moving my lips at him, everything else. And he's trying to hold it back. So now remember, I told you Gianni Russo hits me on the head, right, with the pool stick. The one who played the mother turns around and whacks me on top of the head and says, you're in God's house. You behave yourself when you're in God's house. And, maybe I guess I thought it was a cool thing to say back then. I went, you're not my mother. She goes, on this set, I'm your mother. I'm over God. I got chills going up and down my ass. I said, all right, never mind. And he got it for the whole fucking scene. You ever type in christening scene, and you look for either a still picture or you'll see. Really pissed me off. Or back to you call it whatever. And of course, Dad was so happy to hear that story again. Who brought these two in here? So that's my Godfather story.
That's funny, man. That's interesting that you got to experience behind the scenes. Here, I got another picture from the wedding, a real detailed one. You can see everybody's face. Maybe you could point yourself out in here. Rara, what's going on, man? How are you? Ronan, what's up, man? Can you see the chat? You can see it, right?
No.
If you hit the chat, it's on the right side. There's a chat. You see it on the screen?
I got it.
Not the private.
Oh, yeah, it was on private. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Bobo Camp. What's up, man? Pavel, how are you? Thanks for watching. Yeah, this is live. We decided to do it live and figure it out.
Hey, Bobo Camp, rah, how you doing, guys?
Where does this picture go, man?
Yeah, he was in my father was in front of the hospital. Played one of the cops.
Let me see.
Rara said, don't worry, he won't forget to hit the like button. There you go. So, anyway, that's my Godfather story. Now, when you go and tell everybody that I was in the Godfather, they say, where? And I tell them, they go, well, I can't see. You can only see half my face. So it took me all these years. You found it?
It's pretty huge, though.
It is. Hey, And like I said, I've won a couple of nickels here and there with people, doing their thing and telling me I'm full of shit and I don't know what I'm talking about. And were you there? What? Were you there? Did you work on the movie? Well, no. Now, how the fuck are you going to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about?
Hey, man, people on the internet think they know everything.
Well, they can't get into any beef because it's through a screen. That's what they take advantage of. Yeah.
That's why you just gotta ignore them. Like, people don't matter. A lot of them don't matter. The ones that do matter are the ones that matter, and the ones that don't, who gives a shit, right? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah,
this is the only one I was able to find. Hold on, trying to get it. The other one's a web picture. It won't let me load it in here.
All right, that's the scene where my father was, right outside there. So this is when all the cops come up. Michael Corleone was standing there, and he says, "Lock him up," before he punches him and breaks his jaw. And my father comes up and, "Hey, come on," If you type in, probably if you typed in Sonny Grosso Godfather, that picture would come up.
Do that. Yeah, I was asking you the other day. We were talking. What was it? Yesterday about someone asked me, "Are you related to Georgie Grosso?"
Yeah.
Right? And you said, I'm the third, right? Or you're the second. Aren't you the second?
I'm the second, yeah. And my son's the third. Actually, my son's the fourth.
I'm the third.
You're the third.
Yeah, I'm the third, William, in my family. Oh, shit, I do have it right here. That's pretty wild, man. Yeah, so your father played a pretty major role in this movie.
Well, yeah. Plus, he was the technical advisor on it too, and provided all the security for it and everything else.
Yeah, that was a great story you told me about what's his name?
Ali.
Yeah, Ali.
Yeah,
saying, "I want the tie. Give me the tie."
I went, "This tie." Yeah, that's
Boom.
Eddie Egan. That's Eddie Egan.
Hold on.
That was the real Popeye in the French Connection right there. And the guy next to him is Bill Hickman, who did the stunt driving for Bullet, The French Connection, and the 7-Ups.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it, man. Here's one. Oh, I got it, I think. Did he play a detective?
Yeah.
He did, right? Oh,
Yeah.
It's what's it called?
I think his name was Phil.
Sonny Grosso, detective who served French Connection.
Yep, that's Dad. That was
hold
Dad.
on, I got to share the screen.
I can't bring it up.
Can you see it?
That's my daddy-o.
Says first Sonny Grosso was a police detective and one of two depicted in the 1971 movie The French Connection. Right. Then he went on a career in film and television, producer his TV show here in 1985.
85. Yeah, he passed away.
Oh, so he was a detective in the city?
Yeah. Yeah, that's shooting the movie The French Connection right there.
That's awesome. That was a great movie too.
Yeah, so
I gotta rewatch all these, man. I gotta get reacquainted. It's been so long, you know.
Yeah, if you go back to that picture with Billy Friedkin's the director. He's in the middle of that one, yeah. And he's talking to Gene Hackman, who played Eddie Egan. That was my father's partner in real life. And Roy Scheider played my father in the movie. His name was Buddy Russo instead of Sonny Grosso. Wow. That was a real cryptic name.
Nobody they switch it around a little bit.
Yeah, I can't figure that one out.
No. Maureen, how are you? Thanks for joining me. Nate, how are you? What's good, Nate? We got 26 people in the house. Make sure you guys hit the like button. So what other movies what did your father tell you any stories when he was a detective?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you a quick story. When he was working on the actual French Connection case, I used to go with him, and I was 8 years old, and he would take me with him. We'd go into wherever he had the wiretap, and my job was to take this machine, and every time they used the phone, because they were rotaries back then.
Yeah, I remember.
It would come across on almost like a ticket tape for a stock market, and I'd have to count out all the dashes and then write the number. So if it was 4, it would have 4 dashes, then a space, and then the next one. And I would have to write all those down. Then on other times, we would bring my cousins with us, or my sisters would come, and he'd get the keys to the school across the street. And we'd play basketball inside in the gym for like 4 hours until he was done with what he had to do, and then he'd take us home and stuff. And then one day it was just me and my father, and it was at a different place where they had the tap set up. Kind of like the story I was telling you with Redford. It was down in the boiler room of an apartment building of a projects. And so we're in there, and all of a sudden we hear a noise. And I say, Dad, you hear that? And he goes, yeah, stay here. Whatever you do, don't come out. Wrong guy to tell it to, but I go, all right. So he goes out. And of course, I wait maybe 3 seconds. And I go,
follow.
Of course, I go and I open the door. And he's walking with a limp like this. And he's talking to himself. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And he's talking around there, son of a bitch, and fucking out. And there's a shadow in the doorway that leads into where the boiler room is. And all of a sudden, the shadow walks away. And he comes flying back into the room. Let's go. Get your coat. Come on. We got to get out of here. And the guy that he had the wiretap on, the guy, the Italian guy that Tony LoBianco played in the movie, that was him. He came across the street and went downstairs to look because somebody told him there's a strange person downstairs by the boiler room. And he went down there. I watched that and was like, holy shit, man. That was pretty quick for my father to think that, you know.
What did the guy say to your father when he came?
He didn't say anything. He just saw, you know, in the shadows, he heard this old man, saw this man walking with a limp and figured that's nothing. But that was the last time.
It's a bum down there, and you guys are all in the room.
Yeah. He goes, that's it. You can never come with me again. I could have got you killed, and I could never have lived with myself. And so we never went back. But
at least your dad wasn't like Johnny A-Light and bringing you on hits with him. You did your first hit at 8 years old. Those are fireworks. Don't worry about it.
Well, what do you call it? The genie? Is that what you call Borelli?
His name's
Borelli,
Chief
Borello, whatever
Suckums.
his name.
Chief
Huh?
Suckums.
Chief Suckums, yeah. Chief
Chief
Suckums.
Suckums, yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking about Fat Andy's kid. What's his name?
Oh, that's Anthony
Borello or something like that?
Ruggiero.
Ruggiero,
Anthony
right.
Ruggiero, yeah.
You know, I was watching it today on one of your repeat shows, and he said, whoever was interviewing him, you know, I was like, I think I was like 13 years old. You know, everybody back then was smoking pot and doing LSD, and I'm like, who the fuck were you hanging out with? 13-year-olds were doing LSD like it was, an accepted thing. I'm like, wow,
yeah, he's like, everyone's doing coke back then. Do you remember that back in the day? Was there a lot of people doing coke back then?
No. I, smoking a joint here and there, yeah. But I didn't know anything about it. And I, hung out with a lot of people. None of them were doing any of that shit. Later on, maybe, I don't know.
If the wise guys, like the real guys who were involved with shit, if they knew you had a drug problem, do you think they would have accepted him into the family?
No.
Like they knew he went to rehab.
So his old man wouldn't have accepted him. Even if he was up for consideration, his old man would have went and said, no, you don't know. He doesn't come in. He didn't have to explain why, but
I just don't think he had what it took to be a member of the group.
No, unless you ask him. He's another one. I did this, I did that, I did that. I had to take this guy out, I killed this guy. John Gotti gave me $2,000 and bought me a car and this and that because he was so proud of me that I went to rehab. And get out of here. And again, I keep saying it's not that I hang out with her or we talk on the phone, but ask Angel and she'll tell you. That's why Lee Cole seems to be taking over her show, which I don't like. And because she just can't deal with the bullshit anymore, and most of the time he's the one. You'll get a notification saying she's going on. Says, let me go check her out, see what she's got to say. And it's Lee Cole doing the show. So, but yeah,
I don't watch anything, man. Shout out to all them, but I don't watch any of this content. I'm always making content and progressing myself.
I was going to say, when do you have time?
I have no time. Like, I don't even have time for myself. I try to now I'm going to relax and bam, something will happen. I'm like always doing something.
Like tonight.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not going to sit back and relax. Let me call Sonny and get something going.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to watch the Miami game. Sonny, you want to go live? Yeah. Okay, sure.
Hey.
Yes, Rara. I love Dean Martin. Love him.
You ever meet Dean Martin?
No, that's one of my regrets.
Jack O'Halloran met Dean Martin. A lot of people, man. He's the guy who played in Superman.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. He just died. Right?
No. Jack O'Halloran. I had him on my show a couple days ago.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But yeah, we spent 3.5 days, 3.5 months. Working with Sinatra on Contract on Cherry Street, made for TV movie, but it was a regular movie over in Europe, of which he owned 100% of the movie. So he was a little tough to get along with because it was his money now that was being spent on the thing. But I got to meet him and hang out with him and hang out with Beansy and Jilly, and it was just a good time. Gave us tickets to go see him at the Westchester Premier Theater, and I thought I was going to be able to sneak back with him and just meet Dean Martin, but it never happened,
How was Sinatra as a person?
He was fine, but again, I got another quick story. But we were filming down by the World Trade Center, may they rest in peace. And the scene was that he's playing a police captain, and Sinatra pulls up, and it's a high overshot as the car pulls around, goes around the Twin Towers, pulls up, and there's a body laying in the street. And they were killed by the Sonatos brothers, that was played by Robert Davi and Jay Black from Jay Black and Americans. And so this camera wasn't working, this wasn't working, and he's getting hotter and hotter as the time is going on. So now we break for lunch, and we're coming back, and he calls over the radio, how are we doing with the cameras? And they said, well, we're still working on 2 of them, and that's it. And he blew his fuck. Look at that, Frank Jr. And
Is
he
that
blew
Frank
it.
Jr.? That's
That's
Junior,
Junior,
right?
yeah. And he blows his top. And he goes, listen to me. He goes, you got 5 fucking minutes to fix these cameras or I'm going. Exactly 5 minutes from now, whether you're filming it or not. Stops.
So he wasn't messing around because it was his
No.
money they were spending.
There's blue eyes. So he kind of looks at me and he goes, these fucking people. And I said, you know what? His code name was Mr. S. How about that for Secret Service? So I go, you know what, Mr. S? The people are really busting their ass for you. It's not their fault if a camera breaks down.
Well, his son looks just like him, man. They look almost the same, like especially when they're older.
He shoved up.
Yeah, he definitely chubbed up. Did you ever hear about the Sinatra Jr. kidnapping?
Yeah, I remember it well. Yeah,
you do.
I do.
What do you remember from that?
I thought he staged it. My father goes, "What are you nuts?" I'll never forget it. I said, "I don't know." I said, you know, because it had become public that Junior was not too happy with Senior because he never gets to see him and he never involved him in anything, and he wanted to be a singer and he didn't do him, and you know, he didn't bring him along. Yet he was doing everything for Nancy, and you know, a typical family bullshit. And all of a sudden he just disappears like that, and I'm like, I find that hard to believe. I think he staged it to get his father's attention.
Do you think so? I know, and he comes out unscathed. He comes out unscathed.
Unscathed without a dime being paid. You know?
I thought he did pay some money.
Not what they wanted. Not what they wanted.
I have the story. I made a short story about it. Maybe I can pull it up if you want to hear it.
But my father, yeah, sure. Then I'll just tell you the rest. I'll tell you the rest of the Sinatra story.
Let me see if I can find it. I might have it.
All right, I'll finish it up while you're looking for it. All right. So I said to him, everybody's busting their ass for you, and they're trying to, you know, make you a nice movie. So yeah, maybe just take a couple of breaths. And he looked at me like he was going to kill
kidnapping
me.
On.
There you go.
Yeah. So what? You could.
So he gives me a look, and he leaves me standing in the middle of Central Park West, and he walks over and he walks right up to my father, and I see his hands flying like this, like that. And I see my father shrug his shoulders and like, who? And he turns and he points to me, and storms off. So my father gives me one of these, you know, come here. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I go walk on. I go, what's up? He goes, what did you do to him? All I said was, and I told him what I said. He goes, well, you can't say that to Frank Sinatra. Well, who is he, God? To a lot of people, he's God. I said, well, he's not to me, you know, yelling and screaming on the radio and everything else. And I said, so what did he say? He goes, he wants you fired. I said, he wants me fired. He goes, yeah. I said, all right, well, then I'll leave. He goes, no, you're not going anywhere. I told him I can't do that. And he goes, why not? And it's just my father speaking. He goes, because he's my son. And Sinatra goes, that's why he stormed off. Well, I guess I don't win this one. And then that's when he stormed off. And then
so you knew that your dad was kind of pissed at you for doing this.
Yeah.
Saying that.
Yeah. You know, I didn't say anything wrong, I don't think, or even disrespectful. I was like, calm down, relax. It'll get done, you know, something like that. And you know, he was just like, no, I guess nobody talks to him that way. Especially some snot like 20-year-old, I guess. I don't know. Famous
movie star, singer, like people always like, you know, there are a lot of yes men around them types of people.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
They tell them what they want to hear. They keep them happy. They don't ever want to like say anything like you said, you know, they don't want to be real with them, but they need people like that to be around them. They need real people.
They need that
to be real. Yeah.
They need that for their ego.
Yeah, 100%.
We were filming down on Spring Lounge, down in Little Italy, in Spring Lounge on Spring Street, and we were in the Spring Lounge. We weren't filming. We were filming outside of it. But now we had to wait for the sun to go down because we were filming the final scene of the movie, and. So he's in there having a couple of drinks. I'm at the bar. He's got his bottle of Jack on the table, and I'm drinking my Johnny Walker Black with Joe Spinell. I don't know if you know Joe Spinell. He was in Rocky, and then he was in the Godfather 1 and 2. He was Cheech.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there and having a couple of drinks. And Harry Guardino was also in the movie. He comes in, and Sinatra was in one of those moods, and he's, you know, Harry, come sit with me. So they're talking back and forth. And Harry Guardino had been clean, I think, 4 years. And so they're going back and forth. They get into a little bit of an argument about who was the better drinker and everything else. And so Sinatra goes, you know what? I'll challenge you right now, right, to a drinking contest. And we'll see who gets up first and can walk and who finishes first. And he's like that. He's pleading with him. He's going, come on, that's not fair. You know, I've been clean and sober for 4 years. You fucking pussy going back and forth and got him. Oh, he goes, that's how you want to be? He goes up, grabs his own bottle, Harry Guardino, of Jack, boom, and they start, and they're going. Harry Guardino drinks him under the table and goes, there you go, Frank. Thanks a lot, you fuck. And he walks out. Because now he just drank a whole bottle of Jack Daniels. Yeah, there's Joe.
Wow. So he relapsed basically for Frank Sinatra just to show him up.
Yeah, just to show him up, yeah. So now the sun goes down, and now it's time to film the last scene. And Sinatra's coming down, quote unquote, Cherry Street, which was really Spring Street. And he gets shot by Jay Black and Robert Davi. And he dies on the ground. So they wanted to put a mattress down, you know, that wouldn't be shown in the thing. No, I don't need no fuck. He was gone, belligerent. I don't need no mattress. I know how to act. All right. So the director's name was Billy. There he is. There's Cheech.
Is that when he was drunk right there?
What? No, he had already been hit by a car and shot. So now he's shooting at the car.
Yeah.
But who was drunk? Wait a minute. Sinatra, you mean?
No, Joe.
Oh, Joe Spinell, yeah.
Was he drunk in this scene?
No. But he was a good guy. He wanted to marry my aunt so bad, but you know, he had a bit of a shady past. So my father's father died when he was like 16. So he took over the family. So he, essence, became the father of his 3 sisters, you know?
Yeah, he was like looking out for them. He wouldn't let them.
So he said, no, you don't go out with my sister. There's plenty of broads. His words, plenty of broads out there. So anyway, so now we do the shot. Boom, he falls down on the ground. Boom, and cut. Beautiful. Now he can't get off the ground. He's so fucking hammered. So Billy Graham is the director, the nicest, quietest, like meekest fucking guy you ever meet in your life. And he leans over him to like grab him to pick him up. And from his back, he reaches up and punches him in the face. Blood is pouring out of his fucking nose. So my father, for some reason, wasn't there that night. So the next day I said, you know, I told him what happened. He goes, you kidding me? I said, no. He said, yeah. I said, you know what? I'm thinking of writing the Inquirer and letting them know what this, you know, lovely little kid from Hoboken was really like. And here's what my father said, and I'll never fucking forget it. I'm saying my father too much, like, what's his name?
Yeah. Ruciano. My father. Yeah.
Well, my father goes, you're a grown man. You can write whatever you want, but I don't know you if you do. It's like, wow, guess I better not do it, you know. But I guess it was like one of his idols, you know, that and Joe DiMaggio. So. But yeah, he was not fun to be around, at least in that movie. Afterwards, though, forget it. Go hang out at Julie's, you know, drinks and this and laughing and busting chops and, you know, or go out to dinner here or head up to Rayo's or whatever. That was fine. But something about being on the set, I don't know if he was, you know, always still insecure, that he was just, you know, not taken seriously. I really don't know. Or the money he was laying out for Europe. I don't know, but he was.
Had to be a lot of pressure on him, you know.
Well, I think that's what it was. Yeah, you know. But he thought he was gonna have it made when he went to my father. Can't do that.
But here's the little short that I made of Frank Sinatra Jr.'s Kidnap.
Sinatra Jr. Kidnapping on December 8, 1963. A group of amateur criminals hoping to strike it rich engineered one of the most infamous kidnappings in American history. For several weeks, 2 23-year-old former high school classmates from Los Angeles, Barry Keenan and Joe Amsler.
It probably was a setup. His high school classmates, man.
Right. Yeah.
Like, come on. He probably had them do it.
So what I'm trying to tell you here is the truth is that $240 was not paid. It was a lot less.
Oh, they just put it in the papers like it was.
Right. Well, that's what they were asking for.
Oh.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's see what happened.
Had been following a 19-year-old singer from city to city, waiting to make their move. Their target? None other than Frank Sinatra Jr., son of one of the most famous singers in the world, Old Blue Eyes, himself. Their plan was bold but simple. Snatch the young Sinatra and demand a hefty ransom from his wealthy father. The abduction the pair decided to strike on the evening of December 8, 1963, just days after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Sinatra Jr., just beginning his career in music, was performing at Harrah's Club Lodge in Lake Tahoe on the border of California and Nevada. Around 9 p.m. he was resting in his dressing room with a friend when Keenan knocked on the door, pretending to be delivering a package. Keenan and Amsler entered, tied up Sinatra's friend with tape, and blindfolded their victim. They took him out a side door to their waiting car. The singer's friend quickly freed himself and notified authorities. Roadblocks were set up, and the kidnappers were actually stopped by police, but they bluffed their way through and drove on to their hideout in a suburb of Los Angeles. The investigation by 9:40, the FBI office in Reno was brought in on the case. Agents met with young Sinatra's father in Reno and his mother in Bel Air, California. The motive was presumed to be money. The FBI recommended that Sinatra wait for a ransom demand, pay it, and then allow the Bureau to track the money and find the kidnappers. The ransom demand the following evening, Keenan called a third conspirator, John Irwin, who was to be the ransom contact. Irwin called the elder Sinatra and told him to await the kidnappers' instructions. On December 10, he passed along the demand for $240,000 in ransom.
Oh, that is what they asked him for. What's up,
Yeah.
Paul? How you doing? Bobo Cam. What's up, Maureen, Emerald? Hit the like button. We've got a bunch of people in here.
Sinatra Sr. gathered the money and gave it to the FBI, which photographed it all and made the drop per Keenan's instructions between two school buses in Sepulveda, California during the early morning hours of December 11. Sinatra goes free while Keenan and Amsler picked up the money. Irwin had gotten nervous and decided to free the victim. Sinatra Jr. was found in Bel Air after walking a few miles and alerting a security guard. To avoid the press, he was put in the trunk of the guard's patrol car and taken to his mother Nancy's home. Young Sinatra described what he knew to FBI agents, but he had barely seen two of the kidnappers and only heard the voice of the third conspirator.
But he went to school with them, but he didn't know these guys' voice, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure. I don't believe it. I believe that what you're saying. I believe it was a setup. He was looking for his father's attention. He had them do it. I'm surprised that the kidnappers didn't say he set it all up. But they probably wouldn't have listened anyway, right?
Oh, no.
It's almost done.
Making the case still, the Bureau tracked the clues back to the house where Sinatra had been held in Canoga Park and gathered even more evidence there. Meanwhile, with the FBI's progress being recounted in the press, the criminals felt the noose tightening. Irwin broke first, spilling the beans to his brother, who called the FBI office in San Diego. Hours later, Keenan and Amsler were captured, and nearly all of the ransom was recovered. Although the defense tried to argue that Frank Sinatra Jr. had engineered the kidnapping as a publicity stunt.
Boom! Right there.
There you go.
Holy shit.
The FBI had strong evidence to the contrary. The clincher was a confession letter written earlier by Keenan and left in a safe deposit box. In the end, Keenan, Amsler, and Irwin were all convicted.
They were all convicted. So, hey, I honestly think it was a setup, man. It sounds like a perfect.
I was 10 years old when I said that.
Wow.
And my father looked at me like, not that I was crazy, but how could I think something like that up? You know?
Nate says the police probably knew it was staged, but they swept it under the rug for Sinatra so that they can be the heroes of the situation. Look, we got your son back, you know?
Yeah.
I'll give you free tickets to my show.
Exactly. Yeah,
there you go. Shit. Probably. Because if them young men kidnapped Frank Sinatra Jr. and they knew about the associations that Sinatra had with the people he had with, they wouldn't have even came close to touching him. They wouldn't have done that.
That's what yeah. Yeah.
And they all went to school and they didn't know the names. Like, I don't believe any of that shit.
You can't. You know what? If anything to do in life, if you just use common sense, that tells you the truth almost every time.
You know,
right?
That's right. Hey, I find out the truth about I put the truth out about these guys every day, you know?
And you know
And
what?
I'm just
The
getting
only
started.
true, everything that you're saying is true. None of them are really like getting vocal about it on their own thing. Nobody's mentioned you by name. And if it was untrue, they would be saying, and this fucking guy Staxx, whoever he is, saying all this shit about me, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get a lawyer and sue his ass, or we'll handle it another way. Something. They're not doing that. They're like,
No, they're like, we're not going to
keep
mention
our mouth shut
him.
and just leave
Yeah.
it where it is.
Yeah, maybe it'll go away. No, I got news for you.
Oh, they say
It
that?
ain't going away. Yeah.
That's what they are. That's what they're hoping.
Yeah, I know. Well, too bad for them, man. I'm just getting started, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger. They're like, we got to get rid of this guy. Hey, keep trying. Not going to happen.
There you go.
Thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate it.
It was in your own story.
Hey,
I
appreciate you
enjoyed
joining me tonight.
Especially since I moved down here. And I'll join you every. I think you noticed that by now.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Well, I appreciate you.
So,
and you're
anyway,
welcome here anytime.
You were telling a story yesterday.
We're going to do more pre-recorded interviews soon when you have time. Yeah.
You were talking about throwing the rocks off the bridge. Remember that?
Yeah. And
you hit your aunt's car. So my son
aunt's
says,
car, yeah.
I'm surprised that you didn't jump in and tell him about me with the rocks. I'm like, well, I was waiting for the next time that we do this, and then it would be about you and Dad and everything, you know. And I get called to school one day, and the teacher meets us in the principal's office and said he was outside with two of his pals. You know, everything I did in life seemed to follow what my father did without me knowing about it. And now it's him doing the same shit that I used to do without him knowing about it. So that kind of scary about the genes. But so I said, so what happened? He goes, I don't know. We were in a parking lot. It was on lunch, and we were throwing rocks up in the air, you know, to see who could throw it up the highest. And I guess one of them must have came down and hit the car. I'm like, all right, sounds feasible to me. Could happen. So I go, take me outside, show me the car. So we go outside, and it's the passenger side window. I go, so let me get this straight, because I know right now you think your father's a complete asshole. You threw a rock up straight, right? And then it came down and made a U-turn, a half a U-turn, and went into the side window. How does that happen? And then you knew, like, oh, I should have come up with a better story than that. And so I made him write a whole letter of apology and bring it to the teacher, and he had to work off, you know, the money to pay for the windshield, because we had to pay for it and whatever.
It was probably a lot back then, right?
Back
then, it was probably a lot of money. Like,
So then the teacher says, "Listen, the principal, he goes, you know, I didn't want to call you down for this, but there was damage done to the car, and so I interrogated him, and I got hot. I go, you what?" He goes, he was in grammar school. He goes, I interrogated him to try to get the truth out of him, and I said, well, you know what? Let me just stop you for a second. You have a decision to make right now, whether you want the father that's going to, you know, agree with you and take your side, or the guy that's dying to come ripping out of my mouth right now. And I said, who are you to sit down, a 10-year-old kid, and interrogate him when you're not allowed to talk to any child under the age of 17 without a parent there? So why don't you explain that one to me? Because he wanted to know what kind of a punishment should we do whenever that. So I said, so now here's my answer. You know, there is no punishment. I'll do what I have to do at home, and you do what you have to do and keep screwing up this school. And I took my son and we walked out. And we're walking down the hallway, and he's like, I don't know if you should have talked to him like that. And I went, give him a crack in the mouth. I go, you throwing rocks, number one, at a teacher's car. Because he was hanging out with these two hoodlum twin brothers that I couldn't stand. I said, but what made it worse is you lied to me. And one thing that you're going to have to learn right now, I don't care what it ever is, always tell me the truth and we can handle it differently, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, so now you asked for it. So now it's going to be on for the whole world to hear what you did with the rocks.
Oh, man. Well, now everyone knows what he did
There you
with
go.
the rocks. Hey, man, I'm sure he grew up to be a great young man.
He did. Let me tell you. He's a golf pro down here. And he's got a son now. I have a grandson. And
Mr. Cheeks. Shout out Mr. Cheeks.
That's right.
Yeah, man. He's
he's doing terrific. He's the reason I moved down here. You know, I couldn't stand it. Sometimes I couldn't get down to see him for like a year or two. You know, money's tight to flying it and stay in a hotel. And in the very beginning, he would spend 6 months in Florida, 6 months in New York, back and forth, back and forth. And then one day he came to me, he goes, Dad, I'm going to move to Florida. I go, well, you know what? Let's back that up and find out the right way to bring that up to me. Oh, Dad, I'm thinking about moving to Florida. I go, there you go. That's better.
Yeah.
You know? And so he explained why. He goes, you know, I won't be hired anywhere unless I'm down there full time, 12 months. I got to be honest with you, because 6 and 6, they don't like to see that. There's no longevity anywhere. I said, all right, well,
you got to have permanent residence instead of part-time things, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what he did. So it broke my heart because he was like, from the minute he was born, we were more like brothers than father and son, unless the father had to step in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to break that was tough on me. So, and then
how long was it until you moved down there?
It was like almost 8 years, 7 years, I think it was.
Oh, so he moved, and then 8 years later, you moved down?
Yeah. Well, I was taking care of my parents and doing my own thing and, work and shit. And then my father passed away it's coming up in a couple of weeks, January 22nd of 2020. And 3 years before that, my mother passed away on January 22nd of 2017 on the same fucking date. And his wife now, her birthday is, guess, January 22nd.
Oh, man.
So she goes, well, you'll never forget my birthday, that's for sure. And I took him to this place down here called Benny's on the Beach. Great place. Hey, Bobo, Frankie got run over by a caddy. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's one of the songs that I wrote. And instead of Grandma got run over by a reindeer, I changed the words to Frankie got run over by a caddy.
Hey, man, you got to change it up.
And instead of Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, I made it Paulie the big-nosed Goomba. But so anyway, I take him to Benny's on the beach, having something to eat, and she gets up and she goes, I'll be right back. And she leaves, takes her pocketbook with her. I'm looking, it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I've gone by already. I go, where the fuck is she? I don't know, Dad. I said, well, don't you care? He goes, what? She knows where we're sitting. I said, how do you know she's not on her phone talking to some guy? But he goes, Dad, you are out of your mind. I swear to God. So she comes back and she starts whispering in his ear. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And she takes the thing out that she peed on. And she goes, look, Mr. G, look. And it said that she was pregnant. It was like, oh my God. So,
they like,
there was no way I was going to keep that relationship up. Go down to see him once a year, with my grandson there, with my son and his wife and everything. There was no way. So
it's your whole family.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to take your life and uproot it and move down there from New York, right?
It was. And, there was somebody that was supposed to come down with me that was busting my chops for years about getting out and moving. Let's move down to, retire. Let's move down to Florida. And you can take me to all the places that you've been to with Sonny, and we could do the sunsets. And I say, you know what? Now's the time. God laid out the path. I come down there, I get everything ready. She changed her mind. Thank you, Maureen. And she changed her mind. Wasn't ready to come down yet, And so I have a dartboard with a picture on it, and every night I spend a half hour. Take a half hour.
How is it? How is the atmosphere down there with the people? Are they a lot different from up in New York?
They are the most friendliest people ever. It's amazing. No matter where you go, into stores and black, white, green, yellow, it doesn't matter. You know, they recognize that most of the people, if they don't know them from the neighborhood, they're probably tourists. So it's in their best interest to be as nice as you can. I mean, you walk into Walgreen, like we were talking about yesterday. You're not even in the door 4 steps and you're hearing, "Hi, how are you? Good to see you." Like, you're not used to that. I'm still not used to it. Like, who the fuck?
You don't hear that around here. You don't hear that
no,
shit around here.
right?
They follow you around like they follow you
Yeah, you're
around.
trying to set
like
me up
you're
for
not
something.
stealing nothing.
So yeah, but the overall attitude of everybody down here is really top notch. That's what I like the most, you know.
I'll be down in
And
Florida coming up this year. Maybe I'll come visit you.
no, there's no maybe involved with that. I heard you saying it yesterday.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll be down
you're gonna
there.
go get your guard detailed in Tampa.
Yeah, I gotta go get my car detailed in Tampa. And then
Oh, I'll
swing
meet you up
through.
there. I'll get mine done too.
Yeah,
I'll bring like 10 people with me. You know,
yeah, we'll get all the cars done.
you'll
Get
say,
them
"Wait, who are
detailed
those
up.
guys?" They make sure nothing happens to my car.
I got a lot of great things coming up in the future, and you guys are gonna love it. If you want to help out the channel, you can hit up the Cash App or Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chats. I'm trying to get a laptop, and we got a little bit of funds towards it so far. So if you want to help me help you, then help me. But
There you go. That's all right.
I appreciate you, Sonny.
Yeah, anytime.
Always great to have you on. Maureen, thanks
Anybody,
for joining us tonight.
anybody know if the Dolphins are losing or what? It's minus 20 degrees where they're playing
Where are they playing?
in Missouri, Kansas City.
Yeah.
So minus 20 degrees with the chill factor. So forget about it. They're not used
I
to
heard
that.
they canceled the Buffalo game, right?
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
see the clip on that? They sent
No.
out a tweet. Why do they still call it a tweet if it's not called Twitter anymore? But anyway,
They sent out an X.
sent out an X. So they sent out an X showing it. I mean, it looked like the tundra up in Antarctica. It was bad.
Yeah, it's a blizzard up there, right?
Yeah.
Shout
Yeah,
out to my boy Chad Marks. He's up in Buffalo right now. He was supposed to go to the game and it got canceled.
Oh my God, he was going to the game?
Yeah, he goes to the games all the time.
Oh, so but the tickets will be on it tomorrow, right? On Monday?
I don't know. I think so. Probably.
Who would you whack first from the rats in the YouTube genre? Sonny, just wondering.
All of them. Be a fighter squad and all of them.
It would have to be the lips.
Probably, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, Scammy's gonna end up. He's on his last leg. It looks like anyway.
Yeah. There's word out there that I don't know something happened. He's going back in. I don't know. I would find that hard to believe, but
yeah, I highly doubt that. And then there's the donkey, Dominic the donkey. He looks sickly, man. He looks like he's been dabbling in the I don't know what, but he looks not good at all. He's been missing.
Yeah,
he's been missing for a while. Yeah, people have been asking, "Where's he at? Where's he at?" I don't know. I don't keep tabs on these guys.
he's probably in one of those places, drying out.
Yeah, Gene has a car wash. Maybe you could get your car deal. Yeah, man. Maybe I'll get a deal. Who knows?
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe I could get a deal. Go down there and get my car detailed.
I never. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Spray it off good.
Oh my God, that's great.
But hey, man, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you.
All right, my man. Have a good night.
We'll be doing another one soon.
Yeah, see you during the week.
100%.
Hey, take care, everybody. Thank you.
I appreciate all you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you could get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this content, start your own podcast. Thanks, Sonny.
My pleasure.
And remember, don't be a bitch. Peace.